Hello everyone and welcome back to WordCraft English. Have you ever faced problems that felt impossible to solve? If so, today's video will help you because we are going to learn how to talk about problems in life using some of the best examples in the English language. These are taken from famous Hollywood movies. But don't worry, this is not a summary of any particular film. Instead, I have selected just small public domain clips, or royalty-free dramatizations. We will focus on one short scene at a time, looking closely at what people say to see how we can use their words and phrases in our own English. And we start with a very powerful situation. A man who has clearly failed at something important is speaking to his friend, and he says, "I hit rock bottom." Now, it's important that you know this phrase, because when someone hits rock bottom, it means they've reached the worst point in their lives. It's like if you're falling down a long staircase. Hitting rock bottom means that you've finally landed on the last step. But why did he do that? What does it mean to hit rock bottom? He actually hit his head. So it's also a phrasal verb, which means it has two parts, the verb to hit and the noun rock bottom. But it means something different from the literal meaning of the words. Let me give you another example. Imagine you're helping your friend with an English exercise, and you tell them, "My brother always copies my homework, but now he got caught." Your friend replies, "Oh no, I bet he feels like he's hit rock bottom right now." And yes, in this case, your friend means that this student has reached the worst point in his life because of what happened. So the next time you want to show that someone has reached the worst point in their life, remember, hit rock bottom. But unfortunately, this guy's story does not end there. He continues, "When I saw the look on his face, I knew he was hurting. I had to face the truth." In this phrase, face the truth means to accept or acknowledge the reality of a situation. It's also a phrasal verb, but the action is not usually done to yourself, like in the previous phrase. Someone else usually makes you face the truth. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're eating dinner with your friends, and one of them tells you, "I think my girlfriend is cheating on me. She goes out with her friends every night." You could reply, "Well, maybe it's time to face the truth." And with this, you mean that your friend needs to accept the reality of his relationship. Maybe his girlfriend really is cheating on him. Now let's get back to our story. He continues, "No matter how much he tries, he can't hide from the truth. Keep going." To keep going means to continue doing something despite the difficulties. For example, imagine you're studying for an exam, and it's very boring, but you still need to do it. You can say to yourself, "I'm gonna keep going," or "I'm gonna keep going until I finish this chapter." By the way, if you are enjoying today's video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. Okay, now let's continue. Even though he didn't win the prize, the boy kept going and never gave up. But as I said, this is not a summary of any movie. These are just small examples that will help you improve your English. And the next scene shows a woman talking to a man. She's crying. So first of all, let's listen to the dialogue. "Don't blame yourself. You did everything you could do. You're not alone. Don't blame yourself." When someone blames themselves, it means they think it's their fault that something bad happened. If someone says, "It's my fault," they take responsibility for something bad. The opposite is to not blame yourself. That means you don't think it's your fault. For example, if you were playing a team sport and your team lost, you might feel guilty and think it's your fault. But instead, you could say, "Hey, it's not my fault. We just weren't lucky today." She continues, "You did everything you could do." This means that you tried all possible things to change the situation, but you couldn't. For example, if you have a problem with your phone and you try many things, but it doesn't work, you can say, "I did everything I could do." But the most important thing she told him is that he's not alone. It's very important to remember this when you have a big problem. You have to remind yourself that you're not alone. You have people who love you and want to help you. So next time you feel that you have no one, remember that you're wrong. You're not alone. You have your family, your friends, your teachers, and even your classmates are willing to help you. Next, I'm going to show you a very powerful scene from the movie Forrest Gump. There are many good things we can learn from this movie. And this scene is a great example of how to express yourself in difficult situations. So pay attention. First, we see a young man speaking to Forrest. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. This is a well-known idiom that means that life is unpredictable. Sometimes good things happen, and sometimes bad things happen. We cannot control everything that happens in life. But although the young man is trying to explain this to Forrest, Forrest doesn't understand. So he gives a more simple example. That reminds me of the time when I was 4 years old. This is a good transition to talk about a personal experience. This is a story that happened to me in the past, and it's related to what we are talking about. The young man continues, "Some people say life is easy, but they're dead." This is a funny way of saying that life is not easy. Many people complain about their lives, but most of them are still alive, so they must enjoy life to some extent. Then we hear a conversation between two people. You can't always wait for things to go your way. Sometimes you have to make the best out of what you have. This is another idiom. It means that sometimes you can't wait for ideal conditions. You must start doing things right now, even if everything is not perfect. But Forrest Gump still doesn't understand. So the young man gives him one last example. "Listen, Mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You just eat what you get." This is a shorter version of the first sentence. And by repeating it, the young man wants to make sure that Forrest understands. Okay, now it's your turn to practice. Think about a difficult situation in your life. Can you describe it using some of the expressions we've learned today? Maybe you failed a test. Maybe you had a fight with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Maybe you don't have enough money to buy something you need. Write your answer in the comments below. Try to write at least 3 sentences. And remember, no matter how difficult your life may be, you have to keep going. You're not alone. And if you think things are bad, remember the young man in the movie. Life is much more difficult for a person who's blind. If you want to learn English step by step, we have prepared a special course for intermediate students. In this course, you will find step-by-step lessons from level 5 to level 8. Each lesson will help you increase your level gradually. And remember, we have many other videos with useful expressions. Click here to see more. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for your support. And thank you for your comments. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Have a nice day. Bye.